Okay, now we're here with John from AK Sports Cars, and we're going to have a look at their two main cars they've got to show here. We've got your well-known AK 427 here. Now, this has been in production quite some time, I believe?
Yeah, so we've been building Cobras for well over 30 years now. This is their latest demonstrator. So, you know, we're completely au fait with them. We've put the new Corvette engines in. They've got power steering. They've got servo brakes. It's just a beautiful modern underpinnings to a classic looking car. But yeah, been doing them for 33 years now.
Wow.
So if I don't know how to do them now, then I never will.
We're now on the XCS Designs stand. I'm really pleased to say we've got Paul Cowland, who a lot of you will know from television, to talk us around the cars.
And this is the ultimate Cobra. This is our 427, and this is a tube chassis. And this has got also camber compensation front end. And the first thing you notice if you come around here is just how far the engine sits back. So this is a true mid-engine. If you look, there's an enormous amount of fresh air at the front of the car. And the thinking behind that is obviously every chassis designer's dream is that the engine sits in the exact middle of the car. In a mid-engine rear car, that's easier to do. In a front-engine car, if you look at most modern race cars, the engine sits unfeasibly far back. And what we've done with the tube chassis on this car is move it all the way back.
We're now on the JK Sports Cars stand, who sell the Dax range of cars. I'm here with John Cox, the owner.
Good morning. This is the first design that Dax made. Started in the early 80s. They were market leader right away with the Cobras. Sold sometimes 3, 4, 5 chassis bodies a week.
A week?
A week.
Okay.
Sometimes on show, that took orders on show. They had one show that took 17 orders over the weekend.
We've been trying to track this guy down all weekend. This guy is Jerry Hawkridge of Hawk Cars, an industry, is the word legend too strong? I don't think. Jerry, you certainly wouldn't say the word legend's too strong, would you?
I'm afraid I've been responsible, have to admit to being called a legend a few times. And of course, running parallel to this, we've also got the Hawk 289. This particular one belongs to Stuart, and it's a really lovely car. It's got a V8 Ford in it. Yeah. This car has it's been on the road now for about 13 years.
Really? It's immaculate.
Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely car.
The colour. The
beautiful colour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so deep. Yeah. But when you said, I thought you were going to say 13 weeks or 13 months,
not 13 years
not
old
13
now.
years, Jerry. Here we are on the Crendon replicas stand. I'm here with Anthony, the owner.
Hello.
And Anthony, some of you will know from the past from his company Absolute Horsepower, who are a build agent. So that's your background before you got involved.
So 21 years now, obviously everything Cobra related, being build agents for AK Sports Cars, building Daxes, Pilgrims, pretty much worked on every UK-based Cobra replica company and some from America, offering IVA prep, finishing part builds, interiors, and yeah, absolutely anything Cobra related, really.
Do you like Cobras? I couldn't help but notice at the National Kit Car Show how many manufacturers are into making replica kits. So I thought I'd ask our friend Trevor Rolfe for his opinion on Cobras and his reflection on the show.
Hi everyone, welcome back to 7 Spot. I want to talk to you about Cobras and Cobra replicas specifically. Now, they've been around since at least the early 80s, probably even earlier. And initially, like a lot of designs in the kit car market, there was a big explosion. Wide number of people were doing it. We had the similar thing with the Lotus 7 style cars as well, didn't we? But over the years, things have developed. We don't seem to see the budget versions anymore that we used to, like the Pilgrim with Pinto engines in. And looking at the recent show at Malvern, there were obviously a much smaller number of manufacturers than what there were back in the heyday of the 80s and 90s, but also there was very much a high quality edge to the show, with new engines and different ideas on running gear, We had XCS with their long wheelbase version. We've got JK, obviously they're doing the Dax range of Cobras. And we've got obviously AK with their well-established setup there, who have just added another classic from that era, the GT40, to their range. And a lot of people ask the question, why a Cobra? Well, it's one of those iconic cars, isn't it? Like AK have found with the GT40 and the 7. The Cobra market follows that ethos of kit cars where they tend to be replicas of some form. We do get a few individual designs, as we know, but the long-lasting ones, you look at Cobras, been around, as I said, since the early 80s, and you've got Lotus 7s going back to, Westfield were one of the first to come out with a replica, and that was in the early 80s. So, and GT40 replicas have been around for a long time. So Cobras fit in with that kind of cars that are effectively unobtainium because an original Cobra or an original GT40 is just out of the range of normal human beings, and it's a way into that market. So I think that's why the Cobra market will always be strong. And with the manufacturers, we've got main players now. I think it's a very sustainable market. They are more expensive than they used to be, but what isn't? And you've got this level of quality now, which we've probably never seen before in the kit car market, where these are real sort of, as one manufacturer said, if you can build a Tammy, you can build a Cobra replica, and I think that's very much the case now. So I think personally this market's going to be strong for some time.
Thanks, Trevor. We did a live stream last week with Dave Lazelle, and you just got to go and have a look at his YouTube channel. Subscribe. It's absolutely hilarious.
All right, this is not smart. So, okay, that failed. Also not that. All right, we have to take out this little plug. So when we put the new, whoops. Oh God, okay. Not nearly as bad as it could have been. A little tiny port thingy. There we go. Never to be used again. Now, mine is threaded. Lucky. Bing bang bong, it's threaded. So we have this gear, and if I pull that spring out, there's also a plunger in there that will ask nicely. Or if I just push the whole thing apart. Oh! Alright, I took the back off. You're not supposed to do that. Maybe try not to do it that way, guys, because, if you're here to learn from me, you're in the wrong place. Well, maybe you could just learn from all my mistakes. That's always it. That's what I tell my students.
So we're live, and I am so happy. Dave Lazelle, thank you for being with us today. I just saw your first episode of your YouTube high cost, low cost channel, and I'm blown away. It's pretty most silly. Entertaining story and most self-deprecating story at the same time. It's everything that's happened to every one of us.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just working on it. I'm like, there's no way that the real world is as smooth as the internet makes it seem. So I have no problems just showing all the things that I messed up. It's kind of funny.
It's lovely to be human, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I'm just hoping that somebody else will try something and not feel bad,
Yeah.
Like, oh, gosh, I got to cut this open again and redo it. Wait till you see my oil pan baffle video.
So what's next? Well, we're going to have lots more stories on Cobras because Craig Harper is continuing to build his bespoke Cobra in South Africa. And we're planning a shed visit with Ron Kubara. Now, Ron Kubara is the president of the Lotus Car Club of British Columbia. And of course, he owns a Lotus. But he also owns an Elva Courier. And this is going to be a fabulous show, so stay tuned for that. We've got more live streams planned, perhaps a Caterham in Washington State and more. So stay tuned, and we'll see you at 7 Spot.